Hey Rejects, Kong here, back with some Havoc 40 clutches along with a highlight from my favorite Zealot build. I have been having a great time with the Ogre buffs, but Zealot has always and will always be my main squeeze. So much so that if this weren't my 5th Zealot, he would be around 1800. I might be a little obsessive. First, I'll get into the build breakdown, and then I'll show some fun clutches from Havoc 40 2.0. So, I affectionately call this build the Shepherd. I think the name is pretty self-explanatory. You're empowering your team, you're keeping them safe, and bringing the pain when needed. It's a very fun playstyle, as the moment-to-moment gameplay varies significantly. Along with massive team utility, this build brings the heat in every way. Monster damage, special damage, elite killing, horde clear, and of course clutch potential are all very high. Here is a quick breakdown of the weapons and talents. I am a huge fan of the Flamer, and I'll talk about why in a bit. So as I mentioned before, the build is pretty standard. These are the nodes you're going to take. This is the Purity version if you are running a second Zealot, however, you lose a lot of potential. So getting into the specifics of how this build works. It's quite versatile in its use. You're strong in every regard, but not the absolute peak at killing anything in particular. This means, depending on your team composition, you can either be the monster, elite, special killer, or you may be better off supporting the person that does that role better. For instance, I often play with my friend Justino, who plays a specialized monster killer pickaxe build on his Ogre. When a monster spawns, I will typically position myself near him and either use my book or my flamer to isolate the situation and allow him to focus on the boss. I will help with damage on the boss, especially with breaking captain's shields, but once the shield is broken, I'll let him do the hit. Speaking of using the flamer, something I take advantage of here that I don't see a lot of other Zealots doing is using the primary fire on the flamer. The primary fire is actually a 20-meter infinite penetration, very strong push. It's strong enough to stagger Ragers out of their resistance stance. I will often pull out the Flamer and drop 2 or 3 primary fires into a group, especially ones with Ragers, to stagger them before bracing it and going into secondary fire for damage. Primary fire will also push bursters at range. Another really good tip for the Flamer is to use your throwing knives as an animation cancel when you take it out. This build is also very strong at quickly taking care of specials. Between throwing knives and your mobility, you can easily position yourself for a quick kill and then get back to where you need to be. The high critical chance also means quick cooldown reduction on your book. When you think you're going to need a book shortly, start spamming your light attack into enemies. Alright, I think that's about enough for the build portion. Why don't we get to the fun stuff, the clutches. So obviously immortality is what saves me here, and my gold bar is what saves me in a few seconds after I take a hit. Unfortunately, I'm staring directly at a health, but between the pox gas and the sniper lasers, there's just no way for me to get that. I'm gonna have to play some Ring Around the Rosie and kill some time to find an opportunity before I can get that health. There is a common thread between all of the clutches you're about to see, and it is mobility. Mobility empowers this build in so many ways. When the chips are down and everyone else is dead, the pressure's a bit high in Havoc 2.0 to be able to just stand your ground. There may be a couple builds that can do that for a while, but you're eventually going to get overrun. Mobility is the one thing that's going to allow you to consistently clutch. At this point I could run straight for the res, but I know that if I don't take care of these specials, I'm just going to get sandwiched between the ones in front of me, and I'm not going to be able to pull it off. There's something about the circle here on this part of Complex that I would say is problematic at the least as far as map progression, and you end up getting a lot of bosses here.
I'll be easier to res.
Had I let the third pulse go off here, I might have been able to get the revive. The pulse only affects the monsters on every other one. On revives against multiple crushers with Book, if you're not running revive speed, I typically like to just do a single pulse because there's a lot less guessing game on when they're going to get hit with it. That way you can start the res at the perfect moment.
Oh yeah, baby! Good dodge. Thank you.
In retrospect, I should have just eaten the bullets here and continued to use the health station. I've been playing a lot recently with regular group of friends. Strong builds are great, but coordination is even better. Even if you don't make the perfect call every moment, as long as everyone is in the loop on what's happening, things typically work out pretty well. Here, I'm calling out the clockwise direction, and Mondi calls back saying he needs to shield, so we stop and stick together.
Yeah, do the taunt, I'll get the other rest. Bucket.